Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast from the host, Imperial Dane. Featuring today a 1 versus 1 on Langres. Yes, indeed, Langres still not really any good 2 versus 2s coming my way, but there you go. They do tend a bit rarer and harder to get your hands on. But we shall be watching 12avior fighting for the Wehrmacht, fighting for the 1st SS Panzer Division Leibstandarte. Opposing them shall be Gravemouthgr fighting for the Americans, taking on the fight for the 2nd Infantry Division. 2 engineers start, 2 pioneers start. That is the standard start from both players, which of course also usually tends to entail infantry coming out as the first unit. So far so good. Note though, spread here from Gravemouth, whereas 12avior is seemingly a bit more focusing up north. Of course, it could then sort of spread out, but usually, again, you tend to have these sort of more connecting strategic points being held by the infantry initially, while the pioneers or engineers focus on all the resource points. But there you go. Volksgrenadiers moving out for the Fatherland. Slowly but surely. And there you go, 1st Rifleman squad out for Gravemouthgr. Mostly equipped with Garans, and then one with the Carabine, which was essentially made because, well, they needed a self-defense weapon, but they needed something a little more foolproof than a pistol, partly. And in fact, you're less likely to shoot yourself in the foot with a rifle than with a pistol, and so generally that was why it was made. It tended out to be very popular. Problem was a bit with the carbine, though, that it rather lacked in stopping power. And you tend to have to fire several shots to get whoever you're trying to kill actually killed. And there we go, we do see a shift out there, so he's sort of circling about with the pioneers. That's definitely one way, although usually I do that with my lieutenants when I'm playing the Commonwealth from the start up here. Then I go that sort of way. Volksgrenadiers focusing on the munitions, then they're heading down here. Interesting, rather disinterested in this area, and usually you'd see either player who starts down here, in fact, to wire off this area so the opponent can't move in from the north and take up the heavy cover right there. Of course, I mean, it's bad, but it's rather interesting that Gravemouthgr did not do that. Pioneers continuing up, we're seeing an MG42 up. And note here, 12avior is clearly worried that there's going to be a cut-off moving up here, so he's shifting about his MG42. And now we do see the Volksgrenadiers getting pushed up from south. Engineers, riflemen moving in. Nice combination there of the engineers and the riflemen. Can usually give you a small firearms advantage. You can do the same with Volksgrenadiers and pioneers if you want to sort of have a decent chance. But there we go, MG42 sitting up. We are seeing harassment against the munitions. We are seeing more engineers moving up, but we do see the MG42 going up, and we do see a Volksgrenadier squad up, but this one actually shifts away, so looks like that 12avior is leaving the front line alone, moving up to clear out the flanks before he shifts down there to deal with the Americans. And there we go, the munitions point was rendered neutral, a small victory, although he did lose some men right there. And looks like 12avior is quickly going to move. There we go. Another squad of Volksgrenadier ready for 12avior. And this is 1st SS. Mines going down there. Nicely placed. Right next to some heavy cover. In fact, so that will actually draw some people in. Perhaps clustering up troops a bit, making them a bit easier for the mines to really cause some casualties to the invading enemy. Still no barbed wire. I would really love to see some barbed wire from Gravemouth here. Again, would deny his opponent usage of that cover unless, of course, he sent some pioneers to clear it out. But Volksgrenadiers advancing. MG42 sitting up by the fence. Volksgrenadiers, though, advancing from a slightly awkward pioneer, securing the house, so there's no troops that can rush in. That's actually a nice move right there from 12avior. I mean, otherwise we could have seen someone rush in. We're actually seeing a flamethrower unleashing deadly streams of fire upon the rifle out in the open. The MG42 can't seem to decide what he wants to shoot at, though, which could actually cause a problem for 12avier's advance. But there we go. Riflemen are slowly going down. The Volksgrenadiers are able to lay down much more heavier fire. There we go. The MG42 tearing through several riflemen and the engineers, quickly causing intense casualties, forcing a full retreat there. Riflemen, though, continue up. They kill one pioneer, but ultimately the fire is too much, and they are forced to abandon before they caught Inferno. There we go. Volksgrenadiers do hit the mine, suffering heavy losses and losing 2 men in the process. Flamethrower engineers moving up against the Volksgrenadiers. Up here we're seeing 3 squads of Volksgrenadier from 12avior. 2 pioneer squad. Volksgrenadiers here definitely not doing too well against the flamethrowers and the rifleman squad. Pioneers sneaking in, they're going right past this, ignoring the fight and its friends in need, while the Volksgrenadiers are taking heavy losses, but it looks like the pioneers could definitely end up in some trouble. We're seeing riflemen in from several angles, and they could get cut down on retreat by the riflemen. And we do see the skirmish phase on the way for 12avior, taking up. Good. And we are currently seeing 4 squads of riflemen for Gravemouth. Pretty standard start from the Americans. Pretty solid unit composition there. Tends to sort of favour their advantage, which causes mobility and numbers, and of course the fact that they tend to be a bit more aggressive. So again, having more infantry tends to be the hallmark of aggressiveness, and that is good when you're playing the Americans. That's pretty much how you should be doing it.
We are losing ground.
Of course, you shouldn't overdo it either, so you, for example, risk setting yourself up for some sort of vehicle assault. But 4 riflemen tends to be a good sort of composition for the Americans. You have a good force for dealing with things, but at the same time you don't risk setting yourselves up for some nasty surprise from the Germans in the form of armoured cars, for example.
We are ready to push back the Yankees.
But 3 squads, we could see the Kriegbags going up now. Flamethrowers being equipped for the other Pioneer squad. Ravier seems quite unconcerned with American mines, which could blow up under the feet of his own men. Motorpool going up, there we go. Rifleman sneak him out. Gravemouth slowing down his tempo a bit, but there we go, pushing up on several angles. MP40s, the machine was still Field equipped for some of the riflemen. And there we go, Fulsker's advancing up there. Out in the open though, not good position for Ravier's. Fulsker is right there. And I'm not entirely sure why he positioned the MP40 troops inside the building. Not really the most sterling position. And again, remember to use cover. Even light cover can make a considerable difference. But there we go. The Rifle now going to get charged here by the Volksgunners. Their MP40s firing madly. At the same time, we are seeing another Rifle squad trying to flank about here. We do see a mine up from the Pioneers. And the Riflemen do set off the mine. And now they're suddenly very much more low on health. And the Pioneers could in fact clear them out. There we go. Henry getting roasted like a stuck pig. In the meanwhile, Rifle going up there, getting shot by the Volksgunners. Rifle squad here could go down, and at the same time, looks like the Volksgunners need to get closer, and again, need to use cover and Deckungsmänner. Instead of standing out in the open, in which case the Riflemen do have the advantage here, in particular since they're a bit at sort of medium range. Overall, though, I mean, the fighting largely went in Ravier's advantage. A lot of the Riflemen were heavily wounded. Whereas, I mean, for Ravier, what really only took a beating was a single squad of Volksgrenadiers, so quite a difference. We are seeing a Kampfkraft Center, we are seeing a pack on the way. Pretty straightforward, pretty sensible right there. We could see an armoured car, in fact, looks like we could see an armoured car very soon from Gravemouth's motor pool. And there we go, the strategic point secure there. Overall, currently, Ravier is holding most of the map, at least I hope it's Ravier and not 12avior, because that's definitely going to be a pain in the arse to pronounce. I'll be sticking to Ravier. But munitions being secured there. Troops reinforcing, packs soon ready. Veterans one on the way for the support units. Interesting. Not for Volksgrenadiers, but for the Pioneers and the MG42. In that case, I mean, the MG42 is definitely going to be the main beneficiary, since it will have a faster time reloading, and of course also gain increased accuracy, meaning it's going to be killing a lot more than just a few minutes ago. But looks like small assault detachments are being formed, and there we go. Just as the armor car arrives, it goes for defensive doctrine. I mean, it's an alright doctrine, of course, if you can't hold all of the territory, or you don't have the men to do it, and of course want to do so nonetheless. Defensive can help you stack the odds in your favor, but you then proceed to be playing a bit more aggressively. I mean, the question then becomes if you shouldn't have gone Terror or Blitzkrieg, but let's see. Whoops, sorry there. I'm not sure what happened. Apparently my throat got a bit irritated, I'm not sure. But Veterans you want on the way for the infantry, about bloody damn time. At the same time, Gravemouth is setting up for a considerable flank on the right flank. Although we do see one squad of Volksgunners with MP40s. They stick to heavy cover, so they could have a slight advantage for a short period of time. At the same time, Gravemouth's Western Assault's not quite having any luck. The pack took heavy damage from the anti-tank cannon. And slowly pushing up there. A medic station could prove to be a good move for Gravemouth, and I think a trio center would definitely also be needed, considering how wounded some of his troops are. I mean, this is a 6-man squad, but I mean, these are a lot of riflemen that will easily get killed and thus hand over experience to his opponent, and just, be a waste of manpower. So roll perhaps not the best move there. And again, a trio center for the Americans tends to be, a good move to get within the first 10 minutes or so. Rather than there getting pushed back, rather than engineers pushing up there, Volkswagen's behind the truck, fighting heroically. Their MP40s firing left and right, but they might get overwhelmed, and there we go. Rabia realizes what's going on, what the stakes are, and he just retreats, deciding he does not want to waste manpower and good troops on a fight that's likely not going to achieve much for him anyway. So that's a good case of unit preservation there. Now we see Gravemouth advancing, and in fact going for a huge chunk of Ravia's territory right there. That could definitely hurt Ravia quite a bit. Definitely give Gravemouth something to do with. Finally, a trio centers up for Gravemouth, by the way. And there we go, the rifle are finally getting healed, meaning they'll be a lot more combat effective. And I've got hiccups. At the same time, the Browning automatic is on the way for Gravemouth's troops. Munitions falling to the Americans right there. More mines going down. Fuel will fall as well, which rather means that all of a sudden Gravia doesn't have as much territory, and of course he's got quite a huge frontage all of a sudden, meaning that there's a lot more angles that Gravemouth could be attacking from. Mine down. Foxtrot's quickly running into the old barn, although they could risk getting burned out. And that is the case. MG42, they're opening up in the rifleman with its high rate of fire. Foxtrots do manage to get out of the building, but they continue to be within range of the flamethrowers, and there we go. Fritz catches on fire. MG42, and there we go. Browning automatics pop for the rifleman, opening up with a vengeance on the Foxtrots. Engineers, getting suppressed. Another assault force going up the center. Minesweepers leading the way. Armor coming up. Bunker up for Ravia. Could be a medic bunker. Could be an MG bunker. Engineers here running into the house with their flamethrower pioneers right outside, and the engineers are forced away the rifle here. Simply taking too much fire. Now the MP40s were allowed to get close. We did see an attempt of suppressive fire from the Browning automatics. But ultimately in vain. Now the fighting shifts towards the center. We're seeing engineers moving about here. A demo charge could perhaps work, but he doesn't quite have the munitions for it on that MG bunker, which is then covering the center. Greyhound sneaking in, and we are seeing an attack. Now Panther fires. Why is the pack moving back? It should have just turned. Then again, of course, you might have been worried about the advance up here, but looks like the armored car will escape. Not the best situation right there for Ravia. Of course, the MG bunker will of course serve another purpose besides just serving as machine gun point, but of course also as a point of reinforcement. There we go. Damaged engine on the Greyhound. The pack fired off an excellent shot, rather making a mess of that engine. Pioneers here though need to retreat. And I fear they will go down the retreat. And indeed, they were lost. Casualties in the Great War. And now we are seeing a weapon support sent up for Gravemouth. His attempt to break through this will be a sniper. And we're seeing another bunker immediately going up for Ravia. Could it be another MG bunker? Could it be a medic bunker? Time will tell. Time will tell. A medic bunker though would be nice. He's had plenty of infantry for some time, so a medic bunker early up would have been a good choice. Might even have Nick gained him a few grenadiers.
Has their orders.
And we're seeing armor doctrine up from Gravemouth. That's interesting, and looks like he's going for the right hand side, so that means Calliope.
Observation post report we are losing
Calliope. That should be interesting.
Axis hold the initiative.
That should be very interesting. Some pioneers shifting over there. Mines from Gravemouth still not detonated. Armored car getting repaired. Has Gravemouth considered, also sneaking in a rifleman squad up from here? He could try and clear out the pack, and of course, the thing is, an overall flanking assault would prove to be the more devastating thing against Ravia, since he's got only one MD to really hold up flanks. So that means infantry, and again, sufficiently spread out. And which is the currently up because Ravia is not quite, fully focusing its troops. Gravemouth could succeed quite well by trying to attack from not just, here, but here, here, and here. Basically, unit his numbers with greater firepower against the Volkswagens and that MG42 to really cause some havoc. Then throw in an armored car. And we are seeing that Ravia is actually getting a bit concerned about the ultimate amount of angles, so he's pulling back his anti-tank in a bit, just in case. Armor coming up there. Fire going on. Volkswagen's hiding up in the house. 50 caliber fire going on. The Volkswagen assembly is being pushed out, and there we go. Veterans you want for the Greyhound. Lovely. Lovely. At the same time, Sturm Armory going up for Ravia. Pack will have to move. Slight problem, of course, with having it so far back. Of course, it's going to take some time, in particular, if you decide to move it while it's cloaked, in which case it's going to be moving at a snail's pace instead of, at least being forcibly pushed forwards. So there is something there to consider. Rifle engineers moving up there. Engineer down, armored car up close. Staying though at the same time behind buildings, sort of worrying about the pack. And there we go, assault going up there. MG42 stops it, but at the same time, there's not a full assault. There's still a part here which could be thrown in, and again, that's sort of a bit the problem currently for Gravemouth. There's not really a full advance going up there. Medic bunker, by the way, definitely going to be a bad fight to take it up there, but again, there are other angles, but Gravemouth is not pursuing them, or at least pursuing them a bit too late. Meaning he's going to be in a bit of trouble. As ultimately Ravia can again then focus down the part that do attack down, and then of course when the next wave comes he can clear out that as well. MG actually take... Oh, the MG42 went down for Ravia. That's actually a huge loss. Huge loss. The overall again, Gravemouth is taking heavy losses, and overall he was able to sort of do most of the damage already. And we do see a unit out, looks like an armored car rolling out for Ravia. Volkers here fighting by the medic bunker, taking heavy fire. The pack sneaks about. Grenadiers reformed. 16 kills in the Greyhound, by the way. Very nice, very nice. And the armored car unleashes death upon American troops.
Losing ground out there.
We're ready.
And Veterancy 2 for Gravemouth's armored car, giving it a bit increased penetration. So goody goody. Sticky bombs now on the way for Gravemouth. Again, a medic station could benefit him. And there we go, sniper opens up. He got a sniper now, so that's actually quite a bit of a while that went from he got the weapon support until he got a sniper. And we see the armored car getting upgraded to a Puma. Interesting, interesting. But equipped with a 50mm cannon, pretty much the same as that on the Panzer III, although the turret itself was rather taken from another project. That was the Leopard Reconnaissance Panzer, which was rather cancelled, but ultimately the turret is also used. In fact, there was even a Lux, only one was made though, which was actually equipped with this sort of turret as well. So a bit of fun there. Greyhound advancing straight into the pack fire. Taking a bit of nasty fire, almost down, but gets out there again, and 20 kills on the Greyhound. Very lovely. Anti-tank attack coming out to help Gravemouth deal with the armoured car threat. From Arabia, of course, he could consider getting some veterans. He thought that would make it a bit harder to kill.
One shot, one kill.
Sniper not really achieving much, and of course then the question becomes, should he then bother with it? Armor car flanks about the anti-tank gun, that's good. And we do see the Greyhound in flight, there we go. Nice hit, nice hit. Oh dear, shot misses, and instead the Puma gets away, decides to not try and finish off the Greyhound. Makes a run, although tries for a few parting shots, does not quite have any success with that either. Not really the luckiest of Pumas today. And needle rovers have arrived for Arabia to add in a bit of artillery, a bit of rockety doom. Oh, close hitting the anti-tank gun. Suppressing some of the repairing engineers, but overall does not do an awful lot of damage, does not actually cause any casualties. Small flanking attempt stopped by the MG42 over there. So another MG42 has come out for Arabia. Pioneers getting sniped.
Enemy unit down.
And the Pioneers went down. And the MD42 though gets flanked. And of course, one thing to remember about defensive doctrine is that it actually increases the line of sight on strategic points. I mean, you can see quite a bit farther. And actually have a much clearer idea what's going on your flanks, allowing you more time to react. The flamethrower engineers, the Pioneers, and the Volkers moving in. MP40s and flamethrowers take for the rifle squad. We could see a rifle squad going down, and there we go. Gravemouth did lose a full squad of riflemen. That was quite devastating. At the same time, another squad pushing up there, but the Puma stops it. 50mm cannon shot ends the life of Larry. Graham moving up there. Still 20 kills on that, but let's go return to Ravio. His armor covering straight into the pack. Damaged engine. Not looking too good there, but the sniper moving up. Oh, main gun destroyed, but the armor car is still there. The Greyhound continues to fight on. Rifleman being held up here in the center. Pioneers going down in the middle of everywhere. And there we go, another armored car out for Ravia. Opens up on the Rifleman, taking a few kills there. And more needle-river rockets. Anti-tank gun from Gravemouth, though, gets off a nice hit on the other anti-armored car from Ravia and the 1st SS.
Attention. The enemy advances.
And a mortar team on the way for Ravia. That's actually quite interesting. He has a needle-river, but he's also up for some light artillery. Of course, it could be for more direct. And there we go, mortar barrels going up by the right-hand side. And we do see a pack was actually stolen from Gravemouth, and he succeeds in escaping the registered artillery barrage of mortar rounds and get away with the pack. Sneaky, that, and definitely going to help give him some more anti-tank gun weaponry against the Germans.
The enemy has 300 points.
Mortar is moving up, veterans one as well.
Seizing our territory.
Armored cars advancing. Ram coming in behind that, and we see a sticky bomb. Not entirely sure why he insisted on moving up the Puma so close to the Rifleman, but there you go. And the German mortar gets an anti-tank gun crew member and scores a few more kills right there. Sniper opening up on German infantry. Mortar rounds continue to fall down. Gravemouth advances armor car at the center. Of course, he knows now, at the moment at least anyways, that there are no anti-tank guns to actually slow down his vehicles, which is why he's being a bit bolder. I think with the Greyhound, of course, there's still a chance, but usually, I mean, under these circumstances, the player's not going to be bothering with two. Otherwise, I'm sure he would have found out. So, a bit more bolder play from Gravemouth. Now that some of the major threats to it has been forced away. Engineers matchmaking into the house, denying it for the Volkskriegs. Greyhound continues, and it actually hits a mine. And a Calliope has arrived, unleashing a storm of rockets against the German positions. Hitting grenadiers and the machine gun bunker, though ultimately not doing a lot of damage. Volkskriegs here fighting and losing against veterans E2. Rifleman, but flamethrower pioneers turn the tide, giving the Volkskriegs time to escape certain doom inside the house. Still no veterancy for the German vehicles. What a shame, what a shame. And it's actually time for the mid-game analysis. Current situation is that Ravia is a bit contained, but overall, I mean, he's still got a decent force. He should consider getting some veterancy for the armor cars and perhaps a Stug, though currently he's getting another Needlewerfer. But he needs something a bit more anti-tank oriented, because currently he's only got a Panzerschreck and the Puma is going to have only limited usage against a Sherman or a tank destroyer. On the other hand, for Gravemouth, he needs to deliver some actual blows. He's got most of the map, but he's having a bit of trouble actually doing some serious damage without suffering it himself. And he needs, you know, to knock out some units, kill some infantry squads, knock out an armored car or two, and the Needlewerfers, and he might have a chance. But he needs to do that by attacking from several angles, not just one place at a time, because that also makes it easier for Ravia to react and deal with it. Let us return to the fight. And we go with another Needle ready, and a Pioneer squad coming out. More. 3 kills continue to be that for the mortar. More rockets flying. Still not really achieving any kills with the Needlewerfer, but clearly Ravia's just opting for numbers. They're just hoping to eventually kill something. And rather, it seems like he's just firing into the blind in the hopes of sort of, by sheer luck, hitting something, which is not necessarily the best tactic when it comes to using artillery. But another Panzer ready for the Grenadiers. Dual equipping them. And another Calliope barrage going in from Gravemouth. Killing a bit here and there. And securing another MD-42 crew kill. Quite nicely that. We do see some Volkswagens moving in there. They do manage to push away one of the anti-tank guns. Of course, the Calliope is still exposed, but there's nothing to really hand it down. No Stooks, for example. We do see the Greyhound being sent in to try and deal with it. And there we go, finally getting another kill. I mean, for some time it seems to have been stuck on 20 kills, but there we go, actually scoring another one. Grenadiers advancing. They look to be intent on scoring a Calliope kill. And there we go, the Grenadiers are able to destroy it. They do wreck it, avenging all the ones lost at the hands of the Calliope. Another minor engagement up here by the looks of it. Volkswagen fighting versus Riflemen through a few gaps in the bocage. Armored car pushing up here, but does take some heavy damage from the Greyhound veteran too. We do see the Puma moving up, but still no veteran to run for it. More need for fire. We do see the anti-tank moving up with the Puma. Oh dear. But the anti-tank gun crew can't seem to hit anything. And of course, note, craters actually make it harder for vehicles to move. And there we go. Anti-tank gun scores the kill, and the Puma is history. Tragic that. More wounded being pulled towards the medic bunker. And another armoured car on the way for Arabia. At the same time, we are seeing tank destroyers being massed up for Gravemouth. He's making ready for a charge. Engineers and riflemen advancing up towards the left side of the map. The pressure is definitely on the first SS. We do see another Grenadier squad reformed. Mortar setting up again, and with 8 kills, by the way. Doing quite nicely with that mortar. Doing quite nicely. Do not underestimate the mortar. Do not underestimate it. There we go, armored car soon ready. Still no attempt at veterancy for it. Bit of a shame, bit of a shame. Rifleman advancing up the right side. Left side with some flamethrower engineers, a small assault attachment, but again, MG-42 left to keep that area clear. And we do see Gravemouth making a push up the centre. Anti-tank guns and the sniper rage artillery that are going on against the Riflemen. A thick and swift, dense barrage of mortars tearing out the throats of some of the Riflemen down to one man. And he just barely escapes as mortar rounds threaten to take his very life. And the assault once more stopped by a courageous MG-42 crew. Photographs add in, and finally the Riflemen and engineers are sent off. And there we go. Both tank destroyers on the move, moving up through the centre. There's absolutely no anti-tank guns. There are only the Panzer. And we see one Need River going down. Devastating loss right there for Arabia and the 1st SS. Armour cars could be next if the tank destroyers could actually hit, had they not been having a bit too much whiskey. But there we go. Armoured car down. The tank destroyers are moving on to the next target. Panzer both miss. Panzerfaust the flies, and we're seeing field repairs going up for Gravemouth. GR, interesting, interesting. And will the armoured car be able to make it out there? And will the M10 for that matter? There we go. Armoured car gone. Tank destroyers on the move. Greyhound continues its reign of terror. 23 kills, 23 German dead on its conscience. Tank destroyers need to get out of there, that's for sure. Playing a bit of a dangerous game there. Still no Stug or anything from Revio. Though he seems to be trying to deal with it with Panzer. And taking the point right there, but actually getting mortared. Need to be careful, need to be careful. Get the Greyhound moving. Panzer are moving in. The Greyhound is in trouble. And they've got in the barn as well. Greyhound hit, but it does escape. Pioneers taking nasty losses from the Greyhound. 24 kills, 25 kills. A Pioneer squad thus killed by that 50 caliber machine gun. And a Grenadier gets blasted to bits by a 30mm gunshot. There we go, the dual Panzer really doing a lot of damage, almost knocking out the Greyhound. Another kill there. quite vicious. And the Grenadiers are ultimately forced off. And the last remaining Needleworth opens up once more, and we are hearing that flak artillery is ready for Gravia to be turned against the Americans. So Christian looks like he will be making use of it. And there you go. 88mm flak 36. Very much used, in fact, for anti-tank purposes, besides shooting up air targets. In fact, it saw usage during the Spanish Civil War, blowing up tanks. So, little fun fact there. And Sniper continues to get a few kills. No, that's actually a new Sniper for Gravemouth. I think he should actually perhaps consider getting a Sherman, but now it might be too late with the appearance of the flak. And the fact that Calliope's are not so effective at dealing with flaks. And there we go. The Greyhound finally went down. The Flak 88 from the SS Flakabteilung 1 knocked it out, shattering the tiny Greyhound and the crew inside, crumbling it together like a tinfoil sheet or something. Grenadiers fighting away, blasting away. Not quite suited for infantry fighting due to their heavy amount of Panzer VI. Riflemen continue to fight from behind. And there we go, actually getting into the house now. That was about time, though. They might now get fired at by the flag. And there we go, the house takes heavy damage. And by the looks of things, we will not be seeing the Flak 88 in company of Heroes 2, though it looks like from some screenshots that we might be getting the Pak 43 instead, which was pretty much an anti-tank gun variant of this, with a gun pretty much mounted on the Yak Panther and the King Tiger and so on, meaning quite nasty. Gravia, though, holding on mostly for dear life, but doing so quite decently. The Flag 80 is certainly helping, and we are seeing tank destroyers pushing in from the north, perhaps trying to make a move there at the flak, but there, of course, lots of Panzer. We're seeing Allied War Machine up. We are seeing the flak actually taking a few hits, and one tank destroyer goes down. Grenade on the flak crew. Rifleman following up in the wake of everything else. And there we go. He got the flak, but he got both tank destroyers recuperated. So that was an alright engagement, though could have been better, I think, for Gravemouthgr. It's actually time to have a look at him. My pardons. It looks like a few Falcons are going to be the next victims of the two tank destroyers, the Wolverines. Another Fultz Grenadier bites the dust while the centre is being held up by a bunch of infantry. And another looks like Abwehrkanone going up for Arabia, going to hold up the centre again. He's very much determined to hold them there. They can definitely cause quite a bit of problem for an American armoured player, since they can pretty much act as a huge, well, stopping block or gap, whatever. Pretty much meaning that the American advantage there, which of course using some speed and alacrity, suddenly gets vanished as they can very quickly lose armour, and will need something to clear out the flak. But that's the problem. The Calliope is not very effective at dealing with it, and actual on-map artillery like, say, a howitzer would have been better. The Needleworth continues firing, though, mind you, it's actually quite exposed. Looks like Gravemouth's getting ready for another assault, setting up to move up on the flank. While another squad remains up here. MD-42 fight can be heard, suppressing and killing riflemen alike. Flamethrower engineers, they're moving up on the slight farther flank, and there we go. The MG is pushed off with no rifle. Sniper moving up, anti-tank is quickly cleared out. The flak could be cleared out, in fact. Mortar firing away, 11 kills. And we are seeing raid artillery going in on the munitions point. Engineers need to continue up, they need to get the flak, but no, they retreat. And they take a hit, and we are seeing units going down, or hearing them anyways. Looks like some Fultz Grenadiers took a Brutal beating right there, but the flag is still standing, the mortar's still standing, a lot of other things are. Bit of a shame right there, that was a good opportunity from Arabia to do some terrible damage right there. We do see the Calliope moving out, a fresh one, to replace the ones lost to the Germans. Defensive victory point being helped by Arabia, and there we go. Calliope fires away. 3 squads of riflemen, 4 Gravemouth. That's a bit of a tricky one. There we go. Rockets here ultimately not achieving much, killing 3 men.
We're down to 100 points.
Looks like the Grenadiers are going to see if they can't repeat the trick of moving in with some Panzer tanks to get the tanks. I mean the Calliope instead. They do find the tanks, but we do also see a sniper out. And there we go, 1 Grenadier dead. Veteran riflemen finding as much as they can with stick grenade against the Grenadiers. And the Grenadiers went down, and 2 Panzerschrecks were left behind. Oh, absolutely devastating. That could absolutely cause a lot of problems for Arabia. If he's not careful, I mean, a few Panzerschreck riflemen moving up against that tank destroyer couldn't, I mean, anti-aircraft gun couldn't knock it out. Very nasty stuff, very nasty. A few medics moving up, but they are quickly dispatched with haste by Gravemouth's men. Sturm Armory up for... well, still up, in fact. My Panzer was slightly distracted or something. I had trouble falling asleep, but I had absolutely no problem for waking up again a few hours later, so I'm a bit, well, not fully rested. So... my pardons, MG42 getting slightly pushed back. Another Calliope barrage, the mortar. Radius being a bit too incautious with the support units. He's placing them at the front line, which is usually where we don't quite want them to be. At least not with some infantry at the same time, and the infantry's at the rear. Not necessarily very good. He's quite surprised he hasn't lost more. Looks like a needlework has been cleared up, but more needleworkers have arrived for Arabia. Another armoured car rolling out with the riflemen. Flak still not dealt with. At the same time, high munitions being lost for Gravemouth as Arabia's 1st SS Truppen move up.
Losing ground out.
Veterans, E3 riflemen getting overwhelmed, and I have no idea why he's actually trying to grenade the bunker. It's not a satchel charge.
Regiment is holding heavy on.
And Pershings now being prepared for Gravemouth. Pershings. If it wasn't for the fact he'd already called in a 2nd Calliope, but he might be very intent on trying to get that flak. But it might help if he moved the Calliope a bit closer, for example up here. And there's a thing, of course, with artillery, in particular on that one. In fact, let's just briefly pause. There are 2 things that basically determine how, much the artillery scatters the disc, how far the shots go. One is distance. I mean, the current distance right here is actually considerably big. That means there's going to definitely be some scatter. Up here, for example, from here to here, for example, there's going to be a lot less scatter, meaning a lot of the rockets will be landing closer to home, say in the case he's firing at the Flak 88. Another thing is, if you actually have line of sight aim, that is, currently, Gravemouth cannot see it. He knows where it is, but he can't see. That means these rockets are going to scatter much more than if, for example, had a unit acting as an observer. And of course the artillery would scatter him in left. So again, if you could get it up here, have some troops provide line of sight, he could really do some nasty damage. But for some reason Gravemouthgr is definitely not playing the most efficient way, and he's having them at far distance without much to see, and the rockets simply fly too far everywhere else to actually do any solid damage to the Flak 88.
Germans are seizing territory from us.
Mortar rounds continue to fall. Mortar shifting about a bit. That's good.
Forward supply lines are broken.
Sniper moving up. Will he be trying to clear out the flak, or will he be ignoring the crew and the gun? And the howling of the Needlewerfer can once more be heard. And more Calliope fire. Now looks like he... there we go. Goes for the MG bunker, clearing up the center victory point. I mean, he's definitely going to need something there. Still nothing to really clear out the flak from Gravemouth. Rages are going in towards the centre. Sniper could get caught in the German counter-attack. Armour car supported by Silk Gunners, and there goes the snipers forced away, and a registered mortar round flies far off the mark and gets him. Oh dear. And the flak is still standing. Not a single crew member has died. Oh no. Fulton's versus Rifleman fighting over here. The Fultons look to have the advantage of the Rifleman taking a point and thus a bit busy. Armour car continued to push up. Engineer squad went down to the armour car. This is looking very, very grim for Gravemouth and the 2nd Infantry Division. And lots of rockets are being fired at the Calliope, though so far none seem to be actually hitting the target. And there we go. Rifleman squad went down to the Volksgrenadiers. Gravemouth seems a bit overwhelmed. Armour car, there we go. Got way, way too close and got sticky bombed. And it went up in, well, flames like very cheap fireworks. Flak shoots again and scores another kill. Riflemen are advancing victoriously and straight into an MG42. And there we go, taking heavy losses despite even being veterans free, which actually gives them a damage reduction bonus, which applies for everything. And more rockets fly everywhere. Pack destroyed, another bunker going up. German infantry on the far flank might go for another attempt at the Calliope. Pioneers moving in. And there we go, Calliope taking heavy damage. We're seeing field repairs going up. Still no sign of the Pershing, which could perhaps have saved things. Oh, that was weird. And there we go, MG bunker up, and the rifle is straight in front of the MG bunker. Oh dear. Not looking good at all. It looks like they do manage to escape, and again, another Calliope bouncing again. Notice the scatter. Notice how far the rockets are over the place. And they're definitely not hitting anything there. They did get them all to crew, which is something. But ultimately, the condition is not very good for Gravemouth. He did his best, but ultimately, it was not quite enough. Troops advancing up. Rather than getting stopped by the MG42. And a grenade on the MG42 crew, killing it outright. And another armored car on the way. And the anti-tank gun wrecked by the anti-aircraft gun. Speeding things up a bit. And there we go, game over. Gravemouth left, he retreated. And of course, a question becomes, I mean, what could he have done better? Largely, it came down to the fact that his attacks were a bit staggered. They were never quite full in. And ultimately, that rather meant that Ravia had a much easier time dealing with every prong of the assault, being them back focusing. Rather than, again, being attacked from every time at once and risking actually losing units if we did not retreat fully immediately. So there was definitely something there. Other things could have been done better. Was more mines from Gravemouth. I mean, Ravia really did not bother with minesweepers very much at all. Another thing was, you know, perhaps you should have had some Shermans out initially, not just tank destroyers in the first wave. That could actually cause some very grave problems for Ravia. And overall, I mean, Medic Station would have benefited an earlier Tria sensor and, well, you know, perhaps a bit better unit preservation. Overall, though, I mean, Ravia was able to effectuate a decent defense with the more scattered nature of Gravemouths. The defensive doctrine helped a bit, although he largely used the later parts. So good use of the flax, by the way. And of course, of the bunkers to reinforce from, the medic bunker definitely paid off, and overall the armoured cars could have done with a bit of veterans, and he could perhaps have improved his unit preservation here and there, but overall, I mean, he handled things better than Gravemouth. Gravemouth should perhaps also have considered going for another doctrine, completely like, say, infantry, to sort of, you know, help clear things out, and infantry does tend to be the better doctrine towards defensive players. But there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. If you did, why not subscribe, tell your friends. If you didn't, well, why not send a replay of your own or provide some feedback in the comments. This is Imperial Dane saying cheers.